Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We are Stubble Melt.
I think it started, the concept was probably about 4 years ago, but I mean, it's slowly evolved constantly until, you know, you push on. It's sometimes like 2 steps forward and a step back, 2 steps forward and a step back, and juggling everything. But yeah, I mean, Stubble Melt, I'd say just over 2 years, 3 years now.
Listen to a lot of the Stubble Melt tracks. I'd say over 50% of the Stubble Melt tracks, they're quite dark and they're a bit, there's a bit of mystery towards them, and I'd say that's a lot of Carl's influences. But if you know, there's certain raps in there, and there's certain lyrics that they're more tongue twisters and they rhyme, and I think that comes from actually myself listening to the likes of your Eminems and your Dr. Dre's and different things.
I am the keyboard player, saxophone player, backing vocalist, brunette in the band. That's my job role.
So much you can do with a drum kit. So many different sounds you can make, so many different rhythms. It's such a diverse instrument. You know, one day you could be playing jazz, next minute you could be playing rock, next minute you know, there's no definitive sort of style you can play it in.
I've been playing lead guitar since I was about 11 or 12. My dad bought me a Yamaha acoustic from the car boot for about £3 or £4.
I'm a big believer in fate, and everything falls into pieces. And I mean, it even goes back to like when we originally come up with the concept Stubble Melt, and we saw it as this big, like the Hollywood sign, something as ridiculous as that. It was like, we need 2 women in the band. We have to have 2 women in the band. And it was only like the other day we was talking about it, and it was like, actually, how strange, maybe it's now, maybe our time is now. And I was, we was having a conversation earlier, and it was like when people were fitting into place. And I mean, I had this idea, and I was running with a friend of mine from school, and he was a guitarist, and we was jamming, and it was like, this works and we need a bassist. And we found Mash, and never touched a bass in his life, but obviously he's got the presence and everything about it. But this is going back like 4 or 5 years now, and it just fell into place. And it was, at the time, we was at the age, and we had the spare time where it was like 3 nights, 4 nights, 4 hours a time, and you'd get a pizza and have some beers and get sweaty and just rock out, and suddenly like become a part of you, and you grow. And like now, like Stubble Melt was this quirky thing, like away from society or things, and it was like, people don't get it, but whatever, we'll just go with it, it's a bit of fun. And now it's grown into like this thing which is very arty and atmospheric, and the music holds its own, and everyone says, oh, that's different, oh, you look different.
A lot of our time spent messaging each other. So most of the ideas we come up with are through certain messaging apps, let's say, and any other time we're together, it's always a brainstorming session with us. We're always coming up with new ideas and thoughts and things we could do next week, and things to do for the next video shoot, and things to do where we should gig and all that jazz.
Who knows if this is ever going to be the final lineup of Stubble Melt? When we first started, should I say, look, Kyle first had the idea years and years ago with one of the other previous members, but I got drafted in pretty much straight away, and from that point we always had a vision of having a couple of girls in the band. I know it didn't work out for a few years, and it didn't happen, but everything happens for a reason. You know, certain members have come and left, but I think it's made us stronger as a group. Certainly myself and Kyle and Dave, because he was not much, he was not far after us, and I think you grow stronger as individuals, because you think you can get away with certain things, and you think, oh yeah, well we can settle for that at certain, but you actually can't settle for anything, I don't think.
The Melt lineup has changed so many times, but me, Kyle and Mash are the original three in the band. So Amy jumped on board last year, and obviously Sarah jumped on board this year. I actually think this is the final setup now. This is it. There's not going to be any more changes.
A lot of bands fail, and you think they should have been destined for big things, or it's like the chemistry. It's definitely the chemistry in a band. It is an intense environment constantly, and it's difficult because you're juggling so much, and you have to find the right amount of commitment levels, and you've got to find your place.
I'm never not involved in the band. Band is life. Standard job in a day. Go to work, come home, 9 to 5, and then every other spare minute of my life is these guys.
The relationship in the band is so strong with everyone, you know. We all know everyone quite well. Obviously, Mash and Kyle know Sarah quite well from outside the band, so they were friends before she joined the band. So obviously that relationship is there. Amy obviously is a bit of an outsider, and we're still trying to get to know her a bit. So I think that she will stick with us unless we have a massive argument with her, and she hates us. She probably still does hate us, actually.
They're my brothers and sisters. Like, they're the people that you know would do anything for you. If you called them at 3 o'clock in the morning and you were stuck, you know that they'd come and help. It's that sort of relationship.
I was approached by Pez and also Tom, who's obviously bass and lead. So I suppose I go to them quite a lot, but also I've got a very good relationship with Amy and Dave as well.
I freelance graphic design. I play semi-professional football now. I mean, when I started the band, or the idea of the band, I was a professional footballer, and I have been for the last 10 years nearly now. And then obviously I'm a dad as well, so it is a juggling routine in all aspects of life, but I wouldn't have it any other way, really.
The band takes up a lot of my time, but when I'm not, you know, with the band, I'm a carpenter by trade. I also like to play football, which I do at a decent level. I actually played professional for 5 years, but due to band commitments and work commitments now, because I've ventured away from football a little bit, but I still play a decent standard, playing the conference, televised matches throughout the season. So it is a hobby I'm fortunate enough to get paid for as well.
What I do outside of the band is I'm a dance instructor, so I do street dancing, Zumba, I teach Zumba. I also work in a casting agency, so I recruit people for soaps and movies and things like that.
What I do when I'm not in the band is I'm a teacher in a school. I'm a teacher for a secondary school in Birmingham, but I'm also a primary school teacher of music. So some days I actually have head music in a school in Edgbaston, and I coordinate Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5, and then I do a lot of primary school teaching as well.
I work at a hospital. I'm an orthotic appliance officer. It sounds very complicated. It's people that need made-to-measure shoes and insoles and leg braces, back braces, that sort of stuff, so they come to us to get them. It's just an admin role, it's nothing clinical. I'm not that, not that skilled.
My downtime, I'm one of those thinkers constantly anyway. I'm thinking all the time, and I don't necessarily need time to like step back. I'm not one of those who needs to go away for 2 weeks and sit on the beach and do nothing. I can find comfort for an hour watching a programme on zombies, or I can find comfort when I'm driving in my car thinking of a new melody, or it's just something like that. I mean, quality time I like spending with my little boy, and it gives you time to reflect on the things you've done. I can't watch people.
People, I think, are almost afraid to show off their talents, and I also think, you know, there's a lot of women out there who are strong females but perhaps haven't got anything to back themselves up. For example, Kim Kardashian is one who I don't know what she's famous for.
She is.
But she is, and I think there isn't so much a problem with that, but I think that there's a lot of girls out there who perhaps think it's all about image and it's all about the way that they look and how much money they're wearing or money they're spending, and I don't think it needs to be about that. I think it can come from within. So if you've got a talent, you should use it and not be afraid to get out there and be confident with it.
I mean, I think everyone's the same in life. People say, how can you be in a band and play football? I'm like, how can you not? Like, you have so much downtime, you have so much free time. I mean, even now I still get a social life, not as much as I would like, but you really do have to organise well and plan and literally go from one thing to the next. And as I say, I suppose it's like a cult of a personality really, and I suppose mine is I love the challenge, I love the fight, I love the passion that comes with it, and I love the satisfaction when you've wrote a record, released a record, shot a video, took it to a live show, it's a sell-out show, and there's just so many different rewards which come with that. I'm on the telly. We're gonna watch Peppa Pig now. Regan watch Peppa Pig. Daddy talk. Daddy watch Peppa Pig and Regan talk. Okay, Regan talk and Daddy watch Peppa Pig. So Regan answers the questions and Daddy watch Peppa Pig. Stubble Melt. The album we did, Japatas Barbatas, we had a ridiculous deadline to hit to get it out there, and if we didn't push it the way we did or record it the way we did with the producer we did, we wouldn't have achieved it. And there's probably about 6 or 7 tracks we wouldn't have had. But now we're at a stage, say we're shooting the music video for Ubalauda today, we are using Andy Taylor, who did the EP, to remaster the tracks. So it's another thing where I can go back and I can kind of play with things I didn't like, keep things I did like, and just keep building.
Today's date is 31st of July 2013, recording the album for Stubble Melt in it at Electric Bear Productions. We have a gig on the 28th of August next month in Nottingham. More welcome to come. Currently just doing the drums. Drums all mic'd up and everything. Doing a song called This Is My Friend Stephen. It involves an organ and at the moment just drums as well. So looking forward to it. And there's Sai working hard in the recording studio. Peace.
At this point in the development, I need to tell our viewers and fans out there a few things about the music, because we haven't touched on that. We're going for a more, how do we put this? We're more, well, over the course of the last 3 years since we've started, our techniques have improved as musicians, as songwriters, as performers. And what we're laying down now in the studio, we've still got a lot of the original stuff, like the melodies and the enchantment and the big powerful choruses. But what we're trying to touch on as well now is that quirkiness and kind of commercial side, because like for instance stuff on the Search, the EP, at the end of the Lord of the Gods, we bring in a few digital elements. And that's something we want to touch on. Having 14 tracks, maybe more, who knows yet, it gives us a chance to show you what we're capable of digitally and
in more aspects really, instead of just clean, heavy drums and our songwriting skills. We're still bringing the same structures, same songwriting skills, but we're adding the element of heavy synth, electronics, digital drums.
Si obviously working hard. Always.
Day 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. This is the greatest. So, studio session 8, Stubblemelt, the recording, Japatas Barbatas, me and Little Riggs. We're in here, this is where the magic happens.
Everybody say hello to Amy.
Hey!
Hey! Not awkward in the slightest.
Not in the slightest. So, yeah.
So this
Some
is our new
questions.
5th member of our band, Stubblemelt, the reformed Stubblemelt. How do you find it fitting in?
Easy. Easy peasy, like a piece of cake.
Let's go to this. I've got a bone to pick with the royal elephants now. Look at this. I'm sure that's nearly a centimetre higher than our picture. Not happy, not happy. This is the greatest day on earth. I gave my heart to you. Take all this chance and this is for you, for you. This is the only way I know to break my heart in two. This is the sweetest thing you do. Hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me. How did I know my God was true? You took my breath away. How did I know that now just this point? Hey, this is the only way I know to leave my heart astray. This is the sweetest thing you do, you do, you do. This is the only way now you break my heart in two. This is the biggest thing you do, you do, you do, you do, you do. Can you talk to us about some of your talents?
I feel like I'm on X Factor. See you later.
Musically, what do you play?
I play the keyboards, piano, saxophone, and I also sing.
We've also been experimenting with the saxophone today, just to you know, throw a new avenue into the music. It's work in progress. It's work in progress, isn't it?
Yeah. Try that again. There we go then. Here we go.
We're meeting people regarding the Evil Insane music video, which will hopefully be shot in January. We've got Welcome Back coming out at Christmas. I think we've got 2 or 3 gigs around Christmas time, which would be nice. And like I say, yeah, last night we was literally hammering the tracks out, which we haven't done for a long time.
It was good. It was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
With Amy on board, the songs were sounding big. This is the only way I know. You break my heart in two. What have you done today?
We've just recorded the keys for Twinkly, which I believe isn't actually the name.
It's working title.
Yeah.
Twinkle.
We can roll with it.
Riggs has asked me to do a magic trick. For my first trick, I'm going to make this shoe disappear. So here we go. Abracadabra, alicat. And that was my first trick. Today's a monumental occasion. It's a rap on David Ashfield. It's a rap on David Ashfield on... What did he call it in there? Gupatus.
Gupatus barbatus.
He changes it every time. He says Gupatus barbatus. Gupatus barbatus. It's a wrap on David Ashfield today. How do you feel?
Scared. I'm not doing that. I'm joking.
Sweden son just shoves a camera in your face, ain't he?
What are you doing your drums and then mine?
It's a week prior to Christmas and we have actually spent 21 hours this week alone working on Gupatus barbatus. So it's getting there, we're nearly there. 4 of the last tracks we've laid down, looking epic. This is Si working, that's Dave working, this is me working, this is Amy working.
Yeah, so
So, literally been recording a year for the album. It's going well. Things are picking up momentum now. We've had a listen back in substance and in context with all the tracks in their entirety on the way down. So the song order is the next topic of discussion. What to open the album with. Sorry, Dave's setting up here. Oh! Ah! 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 Oh, okay. Where you get that from? Is that ours?
Yeah.
do you want to do all of it? Alright, there we go.
Is it the one?
There we go. Press ups. He's seizing up. He's sweating, he took his jumper off for everything now.
And he took his top off? Woo! Get your tits up on the lads! Get your... Woo!
You ready?
Your nose looks disgusting.
My nose? Why? It's a bit harsh. What's wrong with my nose? Remember as well, when we do it live, this will be the 14th track, so you'll have to do this at the end of our a.connaughton.
You ready?
29th of December 2013. Drums are done. See you later.
What's wrong with my nose? Tell me. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
You're entering the paranoid stage now.
Is this your plan all along? Mm-hmm. So, Follow the Fallen, Tom Marshall, just completed. How was the experience?
Shit.
It is nice!
Batch, bun, bap, baguette, wrap, bread, loaf. Did I say batch? Batch, batch, bun, baguette, loaf, cob. Yeah, I can't remember anymore, but edit this, cut it, so I'll just say.
Let me stand on here and interview me like that.
What?
Let me, like, you know, you go on your head and put your feet up the wall. Interview me like that.
Why?
I don't know, it's just mad as fuck.
Go on then.
I'm trying to eat my pot noodles.
What are you doing here?
If I sit like that and you film from like you sitting at the wall, I can sit at the wall. I'm not sure it works.
Nah, I don't think it works.
Oh, yeah, you need
No, do it like you're falling and you're holding onto there, so you're lying against that wall.
Yes, that is it.
Like
That's
cliffhanger.
That is.
Yeah, film Dave.
Yeah. Mate, yeah, but you can see the floor, so it doesn't work, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, no, I need to stand here. And then you
You lie that way.
on Neil, like, yeah.
Is it going into the back?
Left or right or whatever. Both. You got both.
No, it just looks like you're lying on the floor, fucking about.
You have to angle it. You have to angle that.
You have to go on your side as well. That's it. That way.
I don't work. It's not work. It isn't.
Release in life has been in this creative process.
Especially the last 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know where I would have been without doing this really. And now I feel coming to the end of this process, I feel like I'm complete, like I'm free, like I'm in a good place. Yeah.
Man, like if you look back on what we've achieved, and like the first step, big step was the EP, wasn't it? And we conquered the EP, and then we sort of sat on it. And now look, you think, oh, what are we going to do now? It's
2.5, 3 years ago, isn't it?
So
I think it was 2 years out.
Yeah,
It was the end of 2011, maybe. 2011, yeah, maybe. It was August. It was August that it got released.
Who's in charge? That's such a difficult question.
the band gaffer, should I say?
In charge. Let's have a think.
I would probably say Kyle is in charge of the band.
I'd probably say Kyle.
Myself, probably. I mean, that's not by choice. I mean, sometimes it's an obsession. I think it has to be with everyone. I mean, you read like David Beckham's book. He says everything starts with like an obsession or something. I have to talk to the camera.
So I think it's all quite equal, I would say, as the newbie coming into it all.
Are you tired? Do you need a nap? Oh, there we go. There we go.
Motivates me. Music. Just full stop. Like, I don't think a single minute goes by when I'm not thinking about a piece of music, singing it in my head, listening to it, thinking about what we're going to do, our next gig. Like, if I didn't have that, I don't know where I'd be.
Like as a kid, I used to listen to a lot of rock, and my dad he pushed a lot of, I wouldn't say rock, but Robert Palmer and The Who and different bands. But as I've matured myself, I like to listen to a lot of rap, a lot of vocal songs, so rap, a lot of hip hop, songs that mean things. There's a story to certain songs and stuff. So that's maybe my favourite sort of genre.
The bands and the music that inspires me, I've always listened to, from a very early age, Jimi Hendrix, The Jam, The Who, and then I sort of went a little bit more rock and metal, so it was more like Rise Against, No Bragging Rights, Rage Against the Machine. So I'm quite influenced by quite heavy rock, but also melodic, so things like Muse as well.
I've always enjoyed life. I've always got up every day with a smile on my face, ready to go out and achieve something or create something or inspire. Vegan just makes the world a better place, really. That's the best way to put it. I mean, you go through so many struggles, but when you're with him, nothing else matters. You see his face, whether you're dancing both in your underwear in the living room, or it's just me and him eating at the table, or out in the park or by a lake. You can't compare to moments like that, and I think they inspire. I think those little moments inspire, or just, I suppose it's the way of the world. Like I say, I like my philosophy and faith, and I just think you feel complete, you feel whole.
I've been playing drums for, it's 12 years now. Started playing piano when I was 5, playing songs, but then I was always so interested in the sound each instrument makes.
The piano is my first instrument, although I've sort of diversed more into keyboards and synth the last few years. I play the saxophone as well. I dabble on guitar. I'm not very good. Not very good, but I like to just pick up anything and have a go. Like, I used to play the violin when I was little, so Kyle keeps wanting me to bring that back. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
So when I was 5, my brother had a piano teacher come over to teach him music, but my brother was scared of her because she had braces on, so he didn't want the piano lessons. So I just stepped up and said, "Can I have the lessons instead?" When I was 5. So from there I started having piano lessons because of my brother, and then from there obviously I moved on to clarinet, the saxophone, to the drums, the xylophone, and just had a variety of music instruments. So it's my brother's influence.
So when he gives the thumbs up, say, "This is Stubble Melt."
For Daddy? Say to the camera, this is Stubblemelt, and you can be in the video with Daddy.
As much as we can.
Do you want to be in the video? Should Daddy be in the video? So today what we're doing, Regan, is we're on set shooting our next single for Stubblemelt's Uberloader, aren't we? Yeah? We are, aren't we?
Yo!
Just playing music into the actual studio. And look at the band's website. Check us out at stubblemelt.com.
You know when me and Pez are getting changed for football, we look like blokes when I see all the other lads. They're like 5-year-olds. They all look like Regan's bigger than half of them.
Yeah.
You want to see him? Where's he going?
Going over there.
See you,
Not
mate.
a stupid one, but does it matter if I have my hands on my knees or on the side?
There's a big space for you here.
Go on, Aim.
I'll do some poses for him so he can have a look.
Go on, Aim, rock it out.
Very nice! Amazing. So, I just, Kyle, you talk. Can you dim this up a bit? So, a bit more light, but slowly.
Do that right.
Wait, yeah. Right. Up, more light. Stop. Yeah, leave it there. Then let's do it. Let's see, let me just check this. I'll just be the dancer, I'll just wait.
That'd be, yeah, that'd be in it as well. If you don't know the words, we still need you this. We need you framed like this.
I do know the words really. Like,
The burning fire's hot, never ignore your heart. And I just can take the start, moving on back to the start. The burning fire's hot, never ignore your heart. Just can take the start, living on back to the start. With the burning fire's hot, never ignore your heart. And I just can take the start, moving on back to the start. With the burning fire's hot, never ignore your heart. And I just can take the start, moving on back to the start. With the burning fire's hot, never ignore your heart.
Can we have some music then so we know what we're doing?
It's just motion, so you don't
That's it.
I know, but it'd be nice to have a bit of something rhythm so they're all rhythm.
No, you don't want rhythm. Is this what we're doing this part?
No, it is real life. Sarah, come in a bit more, and Amy also. And you guys move a bit closer together. Yeah.
Are you ready to start, man?
And movement, jump, and like do crazy stuff with your hair, like crazy, like lots of movement. Keep moving. Yes, faster.
Crazy dance to the music.
Yay, move. That's good. I don't know how much. I think it should be alright. Okay. Right.
you're doing it, so then you like come out of the shot, like it starts like that, and then you come like that.
Hi, Mash.
It's just there's so much reflection. Yeah.
It's not out, you need to have going to there. You're not listening.
I'm rolling, so whenever you guys are ready.
Higher mash.
Higher match, higher.
4 days, 4.
Can we do the thing where
I don't know about lighting, but if I walk across the background, what's it doing? Just walk off the shot.
Step a bit this side. Yeah.
Why do you do it with Amy now? Because she's going to be like,
We can't do that again, Dave.
It's a blur. Well, here we go, where we've come from, where we're going. I think in the short term it's just hitting targets, and I mean obviously we'd love a label and we'd love an agency, and we have been talking to particular ones, but it's like when you've done what we have and we can see that we can hit targets and hit markets better than what we see these labels have, independent ones, we think why sell ourselves, and then you know there's no need to do that.
Next step of the band, that's I think everybody's have a different opinion of that. I think if you ask everybody they'll all say something different, but next step for me would just to be gigging all the time. I mean it's really difficult because of everybody's personal lives, like to fit things in is really hard, but we manage it. But ultimately I think the more we gig, the more we're out there, the more we're seen, and that would be lead to somebody saying like you, let's go further, so fingers crossed.
We've got quite a big gig coming up in November down in Cheltenham with a band called EOV. So play that. That's the first gig with Sarah as well, which is going to be a big step. So hopefully she'll be ready for that. So we are rehearsing quite a lot at the moment, and we are getting very tight. We had rehearsal last night, and we did sound really tight last night, which is good.
What next for Stubblemelt? Sky's the limit. We've always said world domination. Everything we ever discuss in terms of like being on WhatsApp or being over Messenger or being on Facebook or whatever it is.
For the melt, well, big things we're hoping. Yeah, we want to try and take it bigger and more well, not so much mainstream, but we want to really branch out and get everybody listening to us.
The big plan for next year is to get the big festivals, and the time to do that is right now. Actually apply for festivals just before Christmas, because that's the only way you can get into the festivals next year. So I think our plan next year is to do a big tour of all the different festivals in the UK, maybe some in Europe as well.
I think for me, you never get there. I think that's the whole, I always say it's the journey, not the destination. Like, even if my targets now I achieve in a year's time, I'd have a whole different set of targets, so I'll never get there. I am on a crusade, but that's, once again, that's with all things in life. I mean, from my perspective, if I didn't have the band, I would have crumbled a couple of years back with the situation I've been in my personal life.
You know, you look at certain bands, your Kasabians of the world, Queen of the Stone Age, and they play at the biggest arenas and they play in the biggest festivals, and we're here for longevity. There's certain bands who have come and gone, bands you've seen now, and they have a couple of songs out there, and that's all you ever hear of them. We don't want to be that band. We want to be the band that does play the big festivals, does play the big arenas, but we want to be here for 10 and 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. We want to be a band that you remember You know, like my dad remembers The Who and going to watch The Who when he was 18, 19, 20, and we want to be a band now that people can say in 50 years' time, oh, I want to watch Stubblemelt when I was 18, and that's what we want to be. You know, just loving what we do, believing in what we do, and you know, instead of me going out to work at 5:30 in the morning and coming back at 6, you know, using a saw, I want to be writing tracks and performing and, you know, doing the thing that I really love.
I think we're all damaged in some way. I'm totally fine with how I am and how things are. It's just the way of the world. But yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing because it's brought me where I am today, and I'm in a good place, and I've got my loved ones around me, and I'm getting the chance to try and achieve the things I want to do, and you know, that's priceless, really.
I don't see your lovers, only smiling faces. I don't see me in your eyes. Face to face with questions, up in arms with progress, and I don't need you in my arms. I don't see your lovers, only smiling faces. I don't see me in your eyes. Face to face with questions, up in arms with progress, and I don't need you in my arms. Understanding people, strength of all our glory. Telling tales of triumph, flocking trades of defiance. It's for you, for you.